O diretor-geral do Orient Planet, senhor doutor Nidal Abou Zaki, dos Emirados Árabes Unidos.
Okay, thank you. So, good morning, everybody. I would like to thank the organizers, Arab Brazil Chamber of Commerce. I would like to welcome everybody to this session. Okay, so basically, we were supposed to do this event in Sao Paulo. Can you please go back to the first slide? We were supposed to do this session in Sao Paulo in April, and because of the pandemic, now we are doing it in October over video. So this is a kind of a symbol of how the world has changed in the past few months. So as you know that this unexpected pandemic has caused a lot of disruption in the world of business and in our lives. We have a lot of challenges like travel restrictions and then engagement of employees to work under new circumstances. I think every business in the world is facing some kind of issue. Maintaining cash flow and liquidity is a problem, especially with the highly affected sectors. Reorienting operations and business strategies can be a huge task, and the slowdown in production lines and business continuity. So these are some of the challenges, next please, that we are facing. Of course, this pandemic has changed the way that we live and then has changed the way that we do business. So I think that from what we see from our customers, we have to be more intelligent and interactive as a business community. We have to depend more on market intelligence and on data-driven decisions. We are not able to make decisions in the way that we used to do it before. I think the old way of doing business, the traditional way, is becoming over, and then we are moving more to a more complicated, sophisticated, interactive, and data-driven, business decisions. So most businesses now realize the importance of having an interactive platform to communicate and interact with customers, whether through e-commerce, video conferencing, mobile apps, social media, or cloud-enabled access. I think that now we have to change the way that we do business. Next, please. So we understand that now we are not able to travel and conduct business in the same way. However, we can use on a strong IT platform, technology platform, and this is definitely creating its own advantages and disadvantages. So from one hand, that yes, things are becoming easy to interact as we are interacting now from different countries, from different platforms, but at the end of the day, we are talking to each other, although we are geographically very far from each other. And then it's putting a challenge on transparency, because at the end of the day, working online and digitally is putting some challenges, because how to sign contracts, how to negotiate, how to physically see each other, how we are going to meet and interact. So this is going to be a kind of a new business model, which is going to be a hybrid one, because it's not all of it is moving digital, but somehow we have to live with a hybrid system where sometimes we can meet and do things in a traditional way, and sometimes we have to go digital and then into a more flexible and easy accessibility to the customer. So the IT platform that we are working with now, actually there's a lot of noise. I cannot hear properly. I'm not sure if the audience can hear me. So can you move next, please? Yes, so basically, as we are moving into a kind of a sharing society, no, you have skipped one slide. Can you go back? Hello? Okay, so basically, yes. So here, as you see that we have to optimize digital channels. I think that when we interact in terms of business, we have to go into a digital platform and then develop digital marketing strategies which are becoming more sophisticated as we are depending on them more. Actually, if you can, the organizers can sort out the voice issue because it's very noisy. I don't know who's opening the microphone. So we are moving to a more sophisticated customer base, and we have to find new rules and regulations, how to map our customer journey and how we are really going to deal with different kind of customers and then manage their unique needs. And then, to prove this method that 92% of consumers in UAE and Saudi Arabia, being the two most important countries in the region and most powerful purchasing powers, 92% of the consumers are going online, and they have changed their shopping habits during the pandemic, and then the way that they deal with brands and loyalty to brands. Also, loyalty to brands is becoming very challenging. This is opening the new way for Brazilian products here, for example, to find a way, because nowadays that as the habits of the people is changing, it's depending on different factors, the availability of the product, the reliability, the price, and so on. So this is a new way for Brazilian projects in the region, and it's a new way also for some products from the Arab world to Brazil. Can you move to the second slide, please? So basically, we are moving now to a new era where, we have time for creative engagement, how we are going to do work in the Arab world. Now we understand that we moved in a digital way, in a big way, in the next few months. However, the challenge is that some Arab markets are not capable to go into a digital platform at the moment. So I think that we have to understand in the business world that not everybody can move to a digital platform quickly. So this is going to put challenges on businesses that they have to do a double system, one system with some markets and to go and deal with it in the physical way like before, in a traditional way. And then we have to also accept that some of the markets, mainly the GCC markets and Egypt, have moved into a digital platform, and then we have to deal with them in the new method. So I think that both companies have to deal with both channels at the moment until we have a clearer image how we are going to do business in the future. And then establishing a stronger relationship through digital means done by forming online forums. I understand that before, a traditional way, that there was trade missions from Brazil to here, from the Arab world to Brazil, which is definitely helping to establish good relationship between companies from both sides. Nowadays, since that we are not able to travel, I think that the challenge is that how we are going to develop these kind of relationship in a digital way. And then we have to make sure that there will be a kind of a new rules and a new legal form on how we do this. I think before this session, they were signing an agreement. Before that, signing an agreement means people will meet physically on one table and sign. So this is a sign how the world is changing. So digital signature and digital platforms and digital communication is becoming a new buzz in our world. And then I think that we have to move and accept this quickly. And then engaging customers and clients in a creative manner in terms of presenting information, market data, research, and business concepts is also becoming a challenge, because nowadays people cannot go and see your market physically, and they cannot go and visit your company, and they cannot go and visit your factory. So now everything is done digitally. That's why I think that we have to really all develop a strong digital platform and present ourselves digitally. And then how we present ourselves digitally is going to be perceived by the client as this is our reality. Can you move to the next slide, please? Next slide, please. Yes. So now we have to be smart and flexible harness the power of data. I think the one good thing about data collection and the new era of digital is that, you know, accessing data is becoming easy, measuring the power of our message is becoming easy, and then, you know, analyzing our customer base and making sure that, you know, we tackle to the needs of customers in different regions, because I think also Brazil is not one single market, because maybe the north is different than the south, and then, you know, the products that are required for Sao Paulo are different than the products that are required in Brasilia. Same thing here. The products that are required by Egypt are different maybe than the products that are more suitable for the GCC. So we have to really analyze our data and then be smart when it's coming to making decisions. And then we have to be also smart in advertising and how we are going to present ourselves and how we are going to spend our marketing budget to target our unique customer base. Can move to the next slide, please. Next slide. Yes, so I think one of the advantages of course, we spoke about the challenges, about the problem. Now I'm going to speak about the great opportunities. I think one of the advantages of this pandemic is that Brazil is really becoming closer to the Arab world for the first time ever. Because before, I think that the long distance and the expenses for traveling from here to Brazil, from Brazil to the Arab world, it was a hindrance. Now everything is becoming digital. So Brazil, for the first time, is eliminating the geographical distance, and then we are becoming closer. So this is definitely opening the way to Brazilian business community to become closer to us, and our business community also to become closer to Brazil. In terms of saving time, energy, and resources. And meeting can be arranged over videos so that we can have more video calls, we can have more focused groups. And I think that we as business community, we can classify ourselves into different categories and create some focused groups, because I think that one of the disadvantages of general exhibitions is that they are too general. I think over the internet now we can create focus groups that people from the same business background and same interest, they can talk to each other in an easier way. So I think this is one of the advantages. Next, please. So again, when I went to Brazil 2 years back to speak about the same conference, which happened in Sao Paulo, I went into Sao Paulo markets and I've seen the Brazilian economy, and apparently you have definitely a lot of core industries. Traditionally, Brazil is a major exporter to the region in terms of food products and agribusiness. But I think that Brazil is having more capacity to deal with the Arab world in terms of different vertical industries, like oil and gas, cosmetics, different kind of business lines. And I think that we still have a great opportunity to develop a relationship between the Arab world and Brazil, apart from the agri-food business, by creating maybe new methods of business connection, by creating different kind of subgroups under the chamber to tackle different kind of vertical markets. And I think that during this time, we have great opportunity to develop business matchmaking opportunities through focus groups, through online channels, and then form small groups and meetings and one-to-one sessions among various business segments. So this is how I think we can create a better business trade between our both nations. Next, please. Yes, so again, I think that I would recommend that to increase the business channels so that we can, benefit from each other's opportunities. So we have in the Arab world also a lot of smart companies. We have, there are a lot of opportunities in Egyptian IT sector to export to Brazil, as an example. There are a lot of products in many Arab countries that are, I think, suitable for the Brazilian market. Same thing, that there are a lot of sectors in Brazil that they really didn't tap the opportunities that are available for us in the Arab world. One thing that I've noticed is that, the efforts for the Brazilian brands, I don't know how many Brazilian brands are with us in this session, but I think that one of the great opportunities for you is to do your individual efforts, because I think that the whole efforts till now has been driven by the government and by the Arab Brazil Chamber of Commerce. I think individual Brazilian brands have great opportunity to develop their presence here and to do their own marketing activities, and then to develop new business channels and see who can be their partner here, apart from the agribusiness channel, which is, I think, it's very well developed, and the trade between the two nations is more than $8 billion annually. Next, please. So again, we have a wealth between our two nations. It's called the Arab Brazilians. It's a fact that we have 8 million Arab Brazilians who can really establish a sustainable bridge between our two nations, because of the two different cultures. And I think that these 8 million Arab Brazilians can form a kind of a strong bridge between the two nations. And I would suggest that we can really develop a new way of doing, maybe of working with each other, not only on terms of business only, but culture, tourism, business, art. So we really have the opportunity to integrate better during this pandemic using the digital channel. So I think that this is, if we use it properly between the two nations, we can benefit from it, and then we can create really a more integration between our two nations, and then establishing a platform to strengthen the relationship. Talent, also we can adapt more Brazilian talent here, and then again Brazil can adapt more, benefit from more capabilities from the Arab world and more talent when they deal, with different industries, especially what's related to the Arab world. Next, please. I need 1 more minute and my presentation will be over. So, yes. So export and exchange knowledge, again, like we think that, we can really drive knowledge and technology between our two nations, and it's becoming like quite obvious that, anything related to artificial intelligence and IT is becoming of great value. And then, I think that both nations can benefit from the technological development of each other. Can you go to the final slide, please? So again, I think that, the future is knowledge economy, as you know, and I think that both nations have some capabilities in this field. I would suggest that we need to think of how we can do educational programs, how we can do integration between IT companies here and in Brazil, and then exploring the opportunities, how we can work on the knowledge economy. So this comes to, my presentation is coming to an end. So thank you for listening. We have time limitations. So I would like to thank you all, and then we are open for questions when the moderators.
Sorry?
Thank you very much,
Hello?
Mr. Nidal. Hello?
Like this?
Thank you.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
This?
Thank you very much, Mr. Nidal, for your interesting presentation. Actually, you showed that there are some challenges and opportunities regarding the current era, and you highlighted some of the challenges in terms of the signatures, in terms of having digital catalogs, in terms of having segregation of the customers, having segmentation. On the other sides, you showed that there are some opportunities, specifically regarding Brazil. Now Brazil is really close to the Arab world than before because of the digital connection.